The iBooks teach you the individual treatments. The point of this video is to show you how the foot zone looks as a whole. So pay attention to things like where's my placement of my leg, my arm, the placement of the client. Also looking from how one motion moves to the next motion. You can also look at if I'm using my knuckle or my finger, because these are all things that you're going to find as you work through the zone, what works best for you. So this is just to kind of see the zone as a whole and how it looks from afar. So we're going to start first with area 1. We're going to roll the foot to open up all the signals and prep the foot for a zone. We're going to do the drills. It doesn't have to be in a particular order. Then we're going to jump right into area 1 with the glutes, and then straight to the thigh and the knee, calf, and foot. And we're going to come back. Right here is the hip. We're going to pull that foot back just a little bit, pop, pull it out. The anus, the blood supply to the leg, the ovaries. We've got the sciatic bundle and the sunburst. So you can see how it just flows from motion to motion. And the first area usually will be done within a few minutes. There's the pelvic diaphragm. You can do that way, or you can use your knuckle, either one. Then we're going to jump right up in here to the lymph to the liver, with the drain right there. Wrap around the arm. My hand's getting heavy, so I shake off all the junk that I picked up. And then we come right up here to the last signal in area 1. And drain it down to the drain. So we've just finished area 1. We don't move positioning with our ball or our seating. We just jump right into area 2, starting with this first lymph treatment. We haven't had to move at all. We just stay in the same position as we jump into area 2. Working those lymphs up. Drill and drain across. Then we're going to jump into the sinuses. These are the surface sinuses, so I usually use my finger on these ones. So we come around to the toe. Now we're going to do the deep sinuses. This is when I usually will pull in my knuckle and do one side. And this is totally up to you how you want to do this one. But I do one side and then the other side, making sure I get all the way down in between those toes. Drain it through. Then we got the salivary glands right there, the jaw, the tear ducts to the scalp, the neck muscles, the drill. That one's out of order. I should have done that one on the deep sinuses. But you'll find you can do a little bit different order in area 2. The order doesn't necessarily matter as much as you hit every one of those treatments. There's that drill and the fingernailing. We've got the teeth. And the cranial nerves. This is a good time to open up your shoulder. Make sure that your shoulder's nice and open. Not close to your body, but open so that blood goes into your shoulder and keeps your arm healthy. The cranium. We're going to drain this one more time, even though that's not on the treatment. It just feels like draining, so we're going to drain. The eyes. Now we've worked all the toes, and we're going to jump into the middle of the foot. Coming down the thoracic and the sternum. Then we're going to just jump right into that figure 8 around those emotional bodies. Drill 2, 3, 4 drills, and hold those drills. Now we're going to jump into the ribs and the stomach muscles and the rib cage. And do that rib connection right through here. After we do that, we're going to do the zipper, where we're going to throw out all that energy and zip all that energy up. We're going to drain one more time and then we'll balance. You see how the foot rolls a little bit as we balance. Now we're ready to move to the next area. We just finished area 2. Now we're going to move from area 2 to area 3. I'll show you how you do that. We just finished this section right here. We're going to keep a hold of this foot and we're going to wrap all the way around the other side. Like this. Whether it's a ball or a stool you're using, you're going to come all the way around here, keeping contact with that foot so that you're ready to start area 3. Area 3, we're going to start right here, working those surface lymphs. Making sure you keep your arm open, that shoulder open, so you keep blood flowing down into your wrist and hand. The uterus. And the uterus treatment number 2. The returning circulation. Now if we were a male here, this is a girl. If we had a male here, we would do the prostate, come down here, figure 8, and out and drill. Now we're going to jump to both hands, bringing that lymph, drawing it together up underneath that spine, pushing it out, and coming back and drilling right there. We're going to fingernail up the spine. Work those discs and clean out in between the discs. Then we'll drill. Now we're going to work the muscles. So think of this as a chiropractic session again. This is where we're just going to really work and that back, adjust that back, work the muscles to the back, all directions. Using one or the other hand, either hand works. I alternate hands a lot on this, so I can shake off the junk I pull from one hand. I can keep working with the other hand. This is the neck muscles. Really going over all those muscles. Now coming back to the scapula right here. The iliopsoas. Just making sure all the muscles now are nice and loose as we move on to the next treatment. Now we're going to pull the spine apart. And push it together. And we'll clean everything up and dump it into that bottom of the foot. Getting ready to clean it out through area 4. And our energy treatment, our figure 8 up the spine. This one's on the actual foot, and the next part of this is right above the foot. We raise that a little higher and work it right above the foot. Coming up and over the top. Then we're going to put one finger on the top of the spine and on the base of the spine and just command it to align. And then add our other fingers. Now we're ready to move on to area 4. So now we're going to move to area 4. To do that, we're going to keep contact again with this foot, and we're just going to roll around to this position right here. We want to be able to have our elbow have access to our leg, because in area 4, a lot of the time you'll use your leg to give you some leverage. So I'm right-handed, so I come around this way so that my elbow can get into area 4. So area 4, we're going to start over here in area 3 with the spinal fluid. We're going to drill that, anchoring with the other hand so that the foot doesn't move too much. Come up into that spinal fluid. Come back down. Pick that signal back up. Coming up into the head again. Remember to use the side of your knuckle, not the middle, so you don't damage that nerve. We come up into the brain stem. drill. We're going to fingernail it, work that sleep center, pull everything off that brainstem, drill, and open up that blood-brain barrier up into the head and hypothalamus. Got the pituitary and the pineal connection right here. Fingernail those. You can see how the motions just go from one motion to the next. Here's the brain, the cerebral cortex, all of those things, the cerebellum. Working each one of those toes. Got the cranial nerves right here. You can either draw it this way or come across with your other arm like this. Same as we did in area 2. Eyes. Drill and bring it down. Ears. Loop right here. Drill. And bring that right across on top there. Bring it forward to drain. We've got the tonsils and the throat, drills, and massage area. Just need to clear that a little bit, so I bring my other thumb in. There we go. Now we're going to jump into the blood supply to the head. 1, 2, 3, drill, and bring it over. Now we're going to jump right into the thyroid. Bring that around. Right into the parathyroid, the superior vena cava, and the inferior vena cava. We've got the pulmonary circuit right here, the little check mark, and a line going into the lungs, then pulling it out of the lungs. Now we're going into the lungs. We're going to breathe in. And breathe out. Pick that all up in the bronchioles and breathe it out. Work around the lungs with that pleura sac. Then come into the blood supply to the shoulder, right down here. We'll start, drill up. See how my other hand anchors that foot, so I have some stability. Drill the blood supply to the wrist. Now we're going to do the diaphragm. And this is where I'm using my other my leg to help kind of give me some leverage. I'm going to drill the solar plexus. I'll jump into the liver. And the gallbladder. Drill and push into the duodenum, jump into the stomach, drill the pancreas, drill, push everything down the duodenum into that small intestines. So everything just flows all together. From these small intestines, we're going to hook. And the small intestines will hook right here onto the ileocecal valve and the appendix, coming up around the colon and out right there. Now we're going to do the renal system, the kidneys. We're going to hit that blood supply. 2 fingers is our guide. Drill and figure 8 that kidney, coming down, out into area 3 for the bladder, and out. Come back and hit the adrenals. Now we're going to do the hip. Bringing that hip around. And at this point, I bring both arms and do our sciatic. Figure 8 and meet in the middle. Now we're done with area 4. We just finished area 4, so now we're going to go to the left foot for area 1 and start on that. So we're going to keep contact with that foot again. I take my towel, bring it to the other leg, go around, drop that foot, and pick up the next foot. That way you stay in contact with the client the whole time. Get yourself situated, and then you're ready to start on area 1. Now we're going to show you area 1 on the left foot. We're in the same position as we were on the right. We're gonna first open up the foot, roll it, kind of get the foot prepped and ready to be zoned, open up the drains, drill those drains, then come up into the glute muscles. Coming around, going straight to that knee, thigh, drill the knee, calf and foot. Come back to the hip. Remember, if you pull the foot up, you'll be able to see that hip better. Drill up into that hip, pop out the anus and the blood supply. And we've got the ovaries right here. So we drill up to the ovary and to that hip. From that same spot, we can just go down to that sciatic bundle, drill and sunburst out, working up under that thigh and out the foot. Then we can do the pelvic diaphragm right here. Make sure you shake when your hand gets heavy. Now we've got the lymph to the spleen and the shoulder, elbow, and hand. There's the elbow, there's the shoulder. Coming up to the wrist and the hand right here. And we're going to come back here and work these surface lymphs underneath the arm, around the chest, and drain. We just finished with area 1, so we can jump right into area 2. We don't need to move our positioning. We just jump right into area 2 after we finish that drain. Working the lymphs. All the way through there. Drill and drain across. We're going to jump into the sinuses. These are the surface sinuses, so I'm going to use my finger here, and on the next treatment I'll use my knuckle. See how my hand is opened up, my arm and shoulder have opened up. Drain that through. Now we're going to work the deep sinuses. I switch hands when I do that, work one side and then the other side, making sure I pay particular attention really deep down there. Drilling that down and draining. Then we do our drills in between the toes and our fingernailing on top of the foot, scraping all that junk out of the sinuses. Drill the jaw and the salivary glands. 1, 2, 3. Working the muscles to the jaw and neck. The cranial nerves. And the cranium. Big drill on each one of those toes. Got the teeth. Drilling each one of those in between those toes. The eyes, the eye muscle. The tear ducts and the blood supply to the scalp. Just that little spot there. Now we're going to jump down into this section, doing the thigh, the thoracic artery, and then the sternum. Then we go right from that to the figure 8. Drill 1, 2, 3, 4 for those emotional bodies, and then hold those emotional bodies. Now we're going to jump down to the abdominal muscles and the rib cage. Coming to the clavicle, and then we're going to hit each one of those ribs to connect them. We're going to drain it one more time. And then we're going to do the zipper, where we raise the energy, throw the energy out. Then we'll hold those 2 points and allow the foot to move and balance. Then we're ready to move on to area 3. We just finished area 2, now we're going to move to area 3, and this is where we have to actually pick up the foot and move. So we're going to hold this foot, and we're going to roll all the way around, coming to the other side, while staying in contact with the foot, getting ready to do area 3. Now we're ready to start area 3. We're going to start here with our lymphs. And coming back down here to the uterus. Now if we were working on a male, at that point we'd come down, figure 8, and out, and drill. The returning blood circulation. And we're gonna pull these lymphs together, drain it out through the back, come back and drill. We're going to fingernail that spine. Right on top of that bone, that arch of the foot. Now we're going to drill the vertebrae. Get that connected with our nerves. We're going to work the muscles to the back. We're going to really give the back a good massage through this signal to the muscles to the back. Working all directions for the muscles. Make sure if your hand gets tired, you shake it off. Don't keep that junk. Working especially right through here, through the shoulder, up into the neck, where it meets the skull. Really work those muscles, relax them, pull out all the junk through those muscles. Work the iliopsoas muscle. Come here to the scapula and drill that. Now we're going to pull the spine apart. And align. Now we're ready to clean everything up. Pushing everything to area 4 to be cleaned out through the bottom of the foot. Our figure 8 up the spine. And raising that energy. Second one, we come off the foot and roll that energy up and out. Then we're going to take the top of the spine and the base of the spine, command that to align, and then add our other fingers. We just finished area 3, now we're going to jump to area 4. Because I'm right-handed and I just use my right hand, I'm not going to move much. I'm just going to move a little bit to right there so I can get that elbow in and start working the bottom of the foot. Now if you want to be ambidextrous and use your left hand, which would be a good thing to do on this, you'd come all the way around like you did on the other foot and come in this direction so you can use that left hand to open up those signals. Now we're going to start right here in area 3, jumping into area 4 for the spinal fluid. Figurating in that head, in that brain. Coming back down. Picking the signal back up. Around, figure 8. And exit. Now we're going to jump into the brain stem right here. The hypothalamus, fingernail, and throw it off. Drill the hypothalamus and open up that blood-brain barrier. Now we've got the pituitary, the pineal glands right here, and opening that connection between that hypothalamus, that limbic system. Fingernail, Now we're going to jump right into the brain. The cerebellum, the cerebral cortex, everything in the brain. Really just work and stimulate that brain. Switching to each foot, toe. We're going to work the cranial nerves just like we did in area 2, but on the bottom of the foot. And then work the eyes. And the ear. Coming down to that inner ear drill and drain it across. Then we've got the mouth and the throat, tonsils, those 3 drills. Now we're going to come up to the blood supply of the head. 1, 2, 3, drill and out. Now into the thyroid. And the parathyroids. Now we've got the esophagus. This one isn't an area on the right foot, just on the left. Down and drill into that cardio valve. We got the thymus right here. The lungs. Breathing in. Breathing out. Making our motions a little smaller than on the other foot because this lung is smaller. And the pleurosac around the lungs. Now we've got the arc of aorta. We're going to start right down here, anchoring that foot so we have the ability to jump into that arc. Down and out. Do the 3 branches. Then we've got our treatment right here with a pulmonary. And then pull it up. Now we're going to come over here to the vagus nerve. Right there. And the blood supply to the shoulder. Drill and hit. And the blood supply to the wrist. Now we've got the diaphragm. Pull up, pull down, and come over here and we have that solar plexus right there. Now we're going to jump down here to the spleen. Work that spleen and then come right across to the stomach. Now to the pancreas. We're going to jump into the small intestines right here. Working that whole area of that small intestines, then jumping from the small intestines to the ascending colon, the transverse colon, and sigmoid muscle drill, coming out, around, and out through area 3. Then we're going to do the kidneys. So we're going to jump into the kidney right there, drill, come down into area 3 again, drill the bladder, and out. Come back and hit the adrenals. Then we're going to come into the hip. And bring both arms together and work the sciatic. Figurating on the sides of those feet and bringing it across. Now we're going to come up and work the heart. I'm going to start right here at the vagus nerve, working that first line, the second line, and the third line. Then coming around that heart muscle, coming back, and hitting that vagus nerve. Now we're going to work arc of aorta one more time. Coming down and out, and the 3 branches. Now we've hit all area 4. We just finished area 4, so now we're ready to just balance. So we're going to bring both feet up, move our positioning so that both of the legs can come up on top of our thighs. And at this point, we're going to apply an oil if we'd like to apply an oil. So we'll take the oil, apply it to the spine, or anywhere on the foot that you feel like needs to go. This is where you'll get to practice your muscle testing. After we do this, there's one treatment that you can do right here. We want to connect the two brains, the left and the right. So what we'll do is we'll just hold both those brains and just command it to connect. And just let those feet come together so the two brains, the left and the right brain, will talk to each other. After we've connected those brains, we're going to balance. Hold that for until the body balances, and the foot might move, you might roll a little bit, just allow things to flow. And this is when you do any kind of visualization to allow them to continue the healing after they're gone. And then I lock everything into place as I grab their feet and I give them back their feet.